This is the Bitcoin chart on a 3-day. And what you're looking at is a concern being built into that. But then you move on to a shorter time frame chart and you see this. Bitcoin is bouncing from a support of 23,500 and you are getting this pattern, which is a little bit just the opposite, but bullish. And it's confirmed. Now the difference here is one is a higher time frame structure which you're observing, one is a lower time frame structure. So you do see positive news on the shorter time horizon and concerning viewpoint presented by the price action on a longer time horizon. Now what's the difference and how can you prepare for this? That's what we are going to discuss today. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Let's start with the concern first and then end with the short-term reality positively, right? So here we are actually getting something negative. So the price action here is showing you that it is forming. Now this is a 3-day candlestick pattern and this last candle which you're observing started on 21st. So you still have 22nd, 23rd and early 24th before this actually gets confirmed closure. So within that 3 days, if this candle closes above 24,790, that is going to be helpful. Now that is the real concern we are observing, calling evening star fine. But on the other end, we are getting a bullish node, which is a morning star pattern. That's actually a positive, a great thing to observe, but it's on a short-term horizon. Now, one thing positive is that it is suggesting you that it can actually go back up, at least to test this level of resistance, which can then invalidate this pattern because this is not confirmed yet. What's confirmed till now is this thing at the bottom. A reversal signal, which is positive. It just engulfed the red candle here and you went up. Fine. Now on the short-term horizon, you're watching something similar. This one just engulfed the previous candles and you came back to this level, which is actually positive. Now that's a short-term horizon. Fine. Now, if you are taking the same step into the market, looking at, okay, short-term, what can I literally observe? What do I have to look out for? There's something interesting in the Bitcoin market. Right now, the resistance of 24,250 is going to be the key because it was a previous resistance and support here, then again a support here. So as long as you go back, resistance, support, right now it is a resistance. So if we break through that, now literally the positivity stays in the market and that's an hourly chart, so you move on to a 4-hour chart to see what the higher time frame structure suggests you. And then we see this pattern, which we just talked about, which is actually a bullish pattern to start with when we are getting this, which is actually really good because the price actually shows you short-term bulls are entering and that's happening at a support. Now, what do we actually see in the entire market? Now, the same concern is there not only in the Bitcoin market, but also in the altcoin market. So we do have to get a confirmation on the upside, not a downside. If the candle closes to the downside here, 50% of this candle, that's going to be a concern. And that's one of the reasons why you need to have some coins which are doing well. So I personally, what I do is find coins which are having negative correlation with Bitcoin, and they kind of help you a little bit. So staying liquid is going to be really important. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, then the price action, a 2-candle reversal signal, which is actually something positive because it's on a daily, it's not on an hourly or a 4-hour, right? So you can find assets inside the same market which is doing way better than the majority. Fine. And then when we are looking at XRP, yes, it's really boring. You don't have too much price action to be talking with. What's happening in the market is like trying to find the fair price on this time horizon. We are waiting for the MACD to cross to the upside on the positive territory on a daily. We are still below a massive resistance. So unless we break through this, it's a little bit of waiting game, and that's a hard part, because on the other side, you see coins running crazy, coins moving through different resistance and hitting different ranges. Say AMP today is up like 20%. Right? You see SYN 29%. Now, there are a lot of different segments in the market which is doing fine. Some of them did exactly this a week before. Now they are slowly correcting back and getting more buyers in. Remember one thing, when the price goes parabolic, a lot of people will be like, okay, let me wait for a dip. So when that dip comes, then the price slow down and start to bounce. This is where a lot of people start to FOMO back in. So we are literally going to look for that short-term price action pattern, which suggests you maybe next 24 hours is going to give you something. That is why this is going to be really important. If in next 24 hours you get the confirmation that this pattern is valid and you're going to the upside, now that's going to be a key factor in next 2 to 3 months, because if you are pushing through and breaking about 25,000 and getting a close, now that kind of gives you a better confidence level. At least for me, it shows me like, okay, now I can actually target the next level, 28, 29 in Bitcoin, which actually means all coins are also following that structure. All coins are going to break through this level of resistance, which is being respected right now, and then we have a little bit of movement to the upside. Now that's like 10% here in the altcoin market, but remember this, when the market did 12%, the altcoin market, when it did 12% in non-leveraged positions, we've closed 80%. Now there were a lot of different positions which we closed, but others were leveraged, where we are making it 90, 100 and all, it's leveraged. But getting the perspective of right asset at the right time is going to be important, because if that's moving another 10%, you're going to see a lot of assets doing 100% moves in next 1 month. That's what I think. I can be wrong 100%, but this is what I see, and you guys have seen at least last 20, 30 days, how many number of trades we've closed, and that kind of works out. Some of the cases are like, you think it's going to go up, you buy, immediately drops. Now you have to actually zoom out and look where the major support level is and what you think it's going to do after reaching that level. Some of them goes through that, go to the downside, liquidate you, kick you out. Some of them shows you a possibility it can bounce back up. So now you have the option when you understand that market. So here the major possibility is a reversal, which is a macro reversal pattern forming on the altcoin market. Now if that altcoin market is going to do something in next 3 months, that's going to be a blow off. A lot of people would be surprised as this goes up, because there are people who are still waiting for a $12,000 Bitcoin. $15,000 Bitcoin. I see all these stocks where people are literally looking for the price to come back down below this low, below this low. They literally want price to actually come back all the way down towards this range, 18,000 or even below that. Now, when you zoom out on a weekly chart, ask yourself, what do you really think the price is actually showing you? There's a macro, agreed, you actually got a huge double top. Then you drop. We then got macro news, which was so bad, which pushed the market into this range. Fine, but right now what's happening? The volume is increasing when the price is at the bottom. That shows you it's an accumulation phase where people are buying. That's what I understand from the market. And then recently, you actually observed that volume became so huge compared to all these days. Now, there's a weekly candle. So when you're looking for all this, that's like next 2-3 months of volatility. A lot of people entering into the market to buy an asset. And if they're entering into the market and they're observing that the market is doing things like this, you're not really going to miss out on a lot of those. When you see a lot of fundamental assets breaking to the upside. Now you have an opportunity, maybe 1% of your portfolio, maybe 10%, whatever you think is right, you can actually act accordingly. But remember, even 1% moving at 80 to 100% like this is generating 80 to 100% of your portfolio from just one position. So if that one position is making that and another position you're taking a 30-40% hit, you are losing 0.5%. A lot of people misunderstand this. So you have 10 positions, 1% each, and 9 of them, imagine, 9 of them are closed in red, 20%, 30% like that, and one actually does a 100%, 100x move. So you can literally make this one small coin if you hold through entire cycle and these coins actually blast through. We literally have seen assets like Matic where they actually, went like 1000x. Now there are coins which are going to do 100x. A huge possibility is being shown in the macro charts. We do that in the digest. We try to look for assets which actually does that. And here we knew what these assets are actually showing you in the fundamentals and what they're doing, like 800x in a cycle, close to 1000x in a cycle. So you are going to see some assets which are going to run 50x, 100x. So even if you're just putting a small portion of your portfolio, that can be helpful. And when you believe strongly in fundamentals, now that's where you go a little bit heavy. Now for me, I'm heavy in this particular asset. Now in US, that's a security, or at least it's being claimed as a security by the SEC. The court is waiting to confirm whether it's a security or not. They're going through that trial. Now what we have to understand is by the time that comes, if the market rally is completed, now we wait longer. So we need to actually keep the understanding. This is what the market is showing. If this is breaking through the upside in next 2 months, that's going to be a biggest opportunity which we really don't want to miss. So you have the macro big bag. At the same time, you are focused also on the opportunities so that you're not missing out on all of this. You don't have to take a big chunk of your portfolio to do this. You can just do that with a small area because the fundamentals in this side is changing. You're literally observing how things are evolving. You're literally observing what's happening because some of those, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, not everything is looking bullish. Look at this one especially. This is a macro. Mortgage applications to buy her house just collapsed. Now that's like demand has dropped like 28 years. Way lower than the 2008 crash. Now 2008 was especially the housing crisis, right? If you have already seen The Big Short, you understand how things evolve. They actually created all these fixed income things directly from the cash flow generated from the housing market. And basically, there was no cash flow because people being given all this loan to buy a house, most of them did not qualify for that. So they made subprime mortgage. Fine. So what's happening right now? We are even below that. That's a giant concern in the market. So if you're taking time to look at what our economy is looking like, what's happening, you will literally be like, okay, these guys are talking about another hike. We really don't know what they're going to do. We just got the CPI, which was not actually increasing month on month or year over year. We are now slowing down from last June, right? We are here in Feb. So it's been going down month over month over month. And that does not actually show you like, we need to do another interest rate hike. But if they're doing that, then this thing which happens in China, if that video is true, that's going to come in a lot of different countries. People would not be able to afford homes and they will be pushed into the government housings. That's going to be really bad to see. And what will they do with all these houses? Because they're going to build on a 15-minute city. Anything beyond that has to be, demolished. You don't have use case for that. Or they will actually go for the carbon emission for the lifetime. So the life cycle emission would be calculated, that kind of story that can develop through that side. But what is important for us in this market is like, okay, we understand all that macro. We know something bad is coming. But what's going to be that time horizon? Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. We really cannot predict that. But what we are looking at here is that If we can get a bounce in next 24 hours, this is so important. This is so important. If you don't get a bounce in next 24 hours, breaking the price through 24,270, you are in a region where you closed below the previous candles, which is 1, 2, 3. 3 candles closed at that range. So you need to make sure the price goes above and close there. If that happens based on the pattern which we talked about, then it's positive for the market. If not, it is going to be bad. So then we look for the next level of support 23, the next level of support 21. I don't really think, we are dropping towards this range, which a lot of people suggest. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is not the area where I would say like, okay, we are dropping back to this level. Maybe to the level of 20,000. That's a possibility. Price wicking to the downside in different exchanges. That is still a possibility. But on the weekly chart, this is what you're observing. The candle just closed here, which is above the previous 2 candles, which closed by 23,650. This candle closed 24,378, which means it suggests you that bulls are here in the market. It's trending higher. It made a higher high, higher low, and then again is making a higher high right now. So the trend is your friend. So you need to keep that in mind. The weekly is suggesting me this. So most likely next 2 to 3 months, I'm going to observe a bullish trend. Where is going to be the targets? No one knows, but most likely this range is going to act as a resistance. So be prepared for that. And if things like this help you at the right time for the right asset so that you can make the right decisions, then it's 100% fine. You can actually look at the Patreon where we do all this. Whenever I put a trade, I inform you guys. Whenever I close a trade, I inform you guys. So if you decide to take advantage of that, you can always do that. The link for that is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. And I'm so happy that a lot of you are actually watching this channel, and especially, one of the video, I think a lot of you guys are liking that. I'm really happy about that, and thank you for that. So guys, that's it for today. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.